Good afternoon, everyone, and hopefully we'll keep you from your lunch for a little bit longer as we run through what we're doing at TFL, and I'll pass on to Atholl really to talk about how our relationship's building there. But I really wanted to start off really about what we're doing at TFL really in terms of our activity, in terms of our commercial development program, which, if we have the slide come up in a moment. There we go. Just to give you a flavour of how we're trying to work to create places and create partnerships, improve the opportunities we have across London and how that fits together in terms of the ambitions we've got to take forward, delivering mayoral strategies and priorities, but also transforming our locations and delivering the needs that London has now and into the future. So just a bit of brief background really regarding commercial development. This is an arm of TFL that was set up in recent years really to deliver those ambitions, to provide a mechanism to help deal with some of London's challenges, to keep moving, keep growing, and address some of the issues regarding housing and the need for housing, particularly when we have a large land bank to exploit. So in terms of doing that, our ambitions are to work with the property industry, exploit that asset base we have. We have over 5,500 acres of London as a title in terms of our freehold, and that gives us huge potential to take forward a very different, a very new strategy really to deliver the opportunities for housing, deliver the opportunities for employment growth, and deliver the potential to enhance and grow revenue to drive back into TFL as we need those revenues to keep London moving. So in terms of those ambitions, we're well underway with our development programme. You may have seen and heard parts of that in the press, but we're looking to start on site on 10,000 homes by 2021. We're doing that with our larger sites by joint venturing with some of the leading property developers and house builders across London, and we're well underway now with that programme, which is starting to transform locations. Our network connects London. What we're trying to do is create places that are connected together. And that's what we're trying to do in terms of what we're bringing forward in terms of our development programme. We're a long-term owner, investor in our assets. The organisation has been around for a long time. We certainly anticipate we'll be into the future. And our potential is to create those places that create value, work with their communities and drive revenue back into London and in support of those wider mayoral targets in terms of healthy streets, in terms of creating the community and in terms of enhancing that infrastructure we have as well, which we can do through our development programme. So we've got a lot going on at TFL. In terms of our existing estate, we're trying to transform that. Our asset base sits in the heart of London, in the heart of communities. As well as our larger development programme, we've got a programme investing in our existing assets. We own over 1,000 retail units, 800 railway arches, a range of offices, and other assets, leisure assets as well. But they're in the heart of communities, and what we're trying to do is invest into those assets. Thereby, they become part of that community. We don't want to conflict with what is around us. We want to complement it, create that sense of community, and that's what we're doing with a programme investment into our existing estate, whether that's arches that sit in the centre of London where we're bringing communities together and our infrastructure is not acting as a barrier. It's acting to create that sense of community through the work we're doing in bringing in new tenants, investing in that estate, bringing new employment opportunities in terms of the workspace we're creating. We're bringing new concepts into our estate as well, whether they be retail or within our station environment. We're looking to enhance that and bring new retail into those locations to meet the needs of our customers. And they're telling us, what they want is services, is opportunities to have commercial space within those stations, and that's what we're looking to do in terms of enhancing that. As well as that, we've got a traditional office portfolio and other investment assets, but this is all about us investing to create that sense of place, create that sense of community, and really with a long-term view in terms of value, because as I said, we're here for the long term. What we're trying to do is create value and create that for the long term. We can take a different view on that. We're not a developer trader. We're here to invest for those communities, to create value and ensure we work with those communities going forward to transform our estate. And that's all about driving revenue. Our ambition is to grow substantially our revenue from our estate, which drives then that revenue stream back into our business. It's working with those communities. It's working with the small SMEs, and we've set up last year a statement for support for small businesses in terms of the way we're taking that forward. Our estate is very diverse, from major corporates to small SMEs, and that's certainly that segment of the market we certainly see as one that's been vital for London's growth. It's vital to support those businesses, give them opportunities, give them space to grow with us and grow across London really, and support the wider London economy through that mechanism. So For us, it's about having a range of opportunities to deliver that revenue stream, both from the large corporate end to the small SME end, and that's where we're bringing a lot of support to achieve that. And what we're doing is investing in our portfolio to bring forward those potential, as just mentioned. That's across central London, but it's across the wider Greater London area as well. It's across our retail, it's across our offices, it's across our arch portfolio. They're at the heart of the communities, and that gives us that potential to grow, to create that sense of place, and create that sense of destination as well, and really transform an estate that has huge potential in it to grow and to perform strongly. We're also doing other things, though, with our portfolio as well. We appreciate the challenges out there, the changes that are happening in the retail market. As I said, we've got 1,000 retail units, so we know that market well. I'm sure there'll be plenty of discussion in this forum, in the meetings today and in the floor about the challenges of retail. You can't pick up a paper without not hearing and understanding elements of that. But for us, there's opportunity here as well. We have that diverse portfolio, and we're looking to work with the small SME businesses. So what we launched yesterday was a competition called Connected Retail, to try and identify new concepts, technology-driven, that can come into our retail space and trade within a mature retail environment. What we're trying to identify, though, is parties that can take advantage of the technological change, can take advantage of the changes and disruptions going on in the market, and use that technology to drive different services, to drive different opportunities for our customers, and help to support those businesses and grow across our estate. So the competition we launched yesterday is all about that. We're looking to provide the successful party with an opportunity to trade out of a retail space on our portfolio with a value and a rent concession up to £100,000 per annum. So we've launched this as an initiative as part of our wider strategy to help make sure we are reinvigorating our estate. We're looking at the opportunities out there, and we're taking advantage of the technological changes to work with our estate and work with our customers to make sure that we can provide those needs. So there's some details here if anyone is interested in the campaign and the programme. In terms of the application, there's a website address there, so please come forward if you've got any ideas. We welcome those, and we're looking to conclude that process in September, but a real opportunity there to push the boundaries and then try and embrace the change that retail is offering at the moment. But as I said at the start, for us it's about working in partnership with the property industry. It's working in partnership with our local communities. Our larger scale developments is about JVing the larger sites, working with those major developers and house builders to bring forward the change, bring forward the opportunity, create a new sense of place and destination. But across the portfolio, we've got a range of other initiatives, as I just mentioned, but for us, it's also enlivening the space that we have. Certainly within our retail areas, we're looking to make sure that we add to the customer services that we provide. We've worked successfully in places like Old Street with 500 pop-ups in recent years to bring new opportunities onto our estates, bring new services to our customers, but enable people to trade, test concepts, and grow their business from that. We've worked with an organisation called Change Please, which is taking homeless people off the street and giving them an opportunity, a renewed opportunity to become part of the community again through a coffee offer they operate. We've worked successfully now with them on a couple of opportunities. Again, creating that sense of community, working with our local partners to bring those services, but do it in a way which has a long-term view as to value, because that's the view we can take in terms of who we are. And in terms of other opportunities, we've been working with Streetdots, and Atholl will come on and talk about that in a moment. But again, it's providing potential to create experiential uses, to use our estate to its maximum potential, to provide additional opportunities that our customers are saying they want within spaces that were underactivated, which weren't being utilised. So we're looking to achieve that through our relationships that we've got to make sure we're both driving revenue, which is fundamental to what we're trying to achieve, but drive the change the perception of who we are and what we offer in our property business and meet the needs of our customers, but help London grow, thrive and change into the future by providing opportunities through the range of mechanisms I mentioned for people and businesses to come onto our estate and grow, and give them that opportunity to grow with us and grow with London as well as we go forward. So I'll pass over to Atholl, who will give you some more detail regarding Streetdots and the relationship we've got developing there, but huge potential for us to continue to grow our opportunities across our portfolio and grow businesses with us.
Thanks, Nigel. Cheers. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Atholl Milton. I'm one of the founders of Streetdots. Firstly, thanks very much, Nigel, and thanks very much for TFL. At Streetdots, we've been working with TFL for about 2 years, and we also work with a lot of large major land partners in the UK. TFL is a great example of an established property owner who embraces the full understanding of entwining consumer behavior and placemaking. My aim today is to share Streetdots' conclusions on why we think outdoor placemaking is so important and will become more and more important in the future. To do this, I need to share a really short history lesson on the most dramatic changes that have impacted placemaking through the ages. Today, I'm only going to share 3. There is more, but I want to focus on these 3 for the purpose of making our conclusions. Placemaking, as a word, has only existed for around 2 decades. It was written by some journalist in some article. But when you explore it, we believe placemaking has existed for hundreds of years. So challenge number 1, if you really think about it, towns and cities were the first placemaking spaces to exist. Towns were communities. Each town and city would have its own high street, be full of local business operators, shoe shops, butchers, fishmongers, toy shops. Sometimes each town would have its own outdoor market and create experiences. Each town had its own identity. A trip to the shops was an experience. People didn't jet set in those days. People would make trips to another town which was exciting, a different identity and a different offer. When people arrived back from these experiences, they would share their trips by phone, over the garden fence, or meeting on the street. And believe it or not, people would follow and go and visit those towns. But towns had a challenge. Towns became strained by the emergence of brands. Originally, the big brands we know today were only located in big cities, but they started entering peripheral towns. Developers spotted the opportunity to contain these brands in one space, simply a shopping mall. The first urban shopping mall was created in the US in 1946 in Seattle. In the UK, the first shopping mall was built in 1968 in Birmingham. Brands prioritize themselves by choosing shopping malls over presenting themselves on the high street. Within 30 years, there is almost a shopping center now in every single town. A shopping mall was a great placemaking opportunity and a great experience at the time. But they became cost challenging. Brands and businesses are clever. They realized they could reach people more cost effectively by moving out of town to retail parks, leaving the high street altogether. Believe it or not, this also became more convenient to the consumer. Another great early placemaking opportunity. And the brands pushed for it. But retail parks didn't last long either. They had to adapt. They added F&B, and today they aim to offer it all. If possible, this includes leisure facilities, which might include a cinema or a bowling alley. What is left is a wake of challenges we now experience, and it's become an all too familiar story of a bland experience. And lastly, this moves on to the third biggest challenge, and probably the largest challenge experienced to date. It's called the digital age. This happened in 2 parts. First, the presence of online. I like to call it .com 1, just because it sounds a bit more dramatic, where retailers found an efficient and low-cost way to showcase their products. What started as websites moved into online purchasing. People then believed that placemaking would fully move from the physical and solely be present in the digital. But the digital age happened in two parts. Because of the creation of mobile phones with Wi-Fi access, turned into a mobile on-demand retailing. It's an era that has created the biggest sea change in people behavior, the rise of the millennial. These groups include Generation X, Y, and Z. These people have become time poor, more flexible with their approach to living, expectations for operators to deliver things when they need it. And the ability to critique has become so easy. But one thing we have discovered is they still crave experiences. So this is where we are now, and who knows what the next generational behavior will be. What we do know is the world is moving faster. Towns and cities took hundreds of years to form. The rise of the brands took decades to establish their presence. And the digital age we live in now has only just begun. There is only one constant through all the challenges, and it's the desire for the consumer to be able to experience and share stories with their local communities. Over the garden fence in the old days, or online with your Instagrammable friends. It's at this point where Streetdots concludes three things and reinforces why outdoor placemaking is a perfect opportunity for the modern living person. Firstly, with the challenges of the millennials, property owners need to offer experiences that cater for the right time and the right location within their estates. Secondly, people desire experiences, but like to be able to share their stories online and have access, visibility to what they can experience. Solely, online businesses need to have a physical presence and vice versa. The world we live in today is a skill in merging the digital and physical presence for an on-demand access to the customer. And the third conclusion for us pulls it all together. If you want to offer something in the right time, right place, and have a digital and physical presence while creating experiences, then leasing needs to adapt and become micro. The opportunity now for real estate owners exists. Imagine if you can create a city that is constantly moving. Retailers, food operators, musicians, leisure activities. They can be on your doorstep, at home, or around the workplace to fit into your heavy work schedule or improve the pressures of your daily life. And this is what Streetdots set out to do. So, let me finish off. Imagine a landscape in any town or city. Look at the opportunity of where people congregate. It can be work, shopping, recreational, campuses. Opportunity now exists where flexibility has become the most important offer of a right time, right place moment. But to make this opportunity come to life, you require three audiences to work in harmony. Land, asset managers. It doesn't matter if you own a business park, retail estate, or a stadium. What you will know is that when people are most active, what you will know as an asset manager, is you will know when people are most active on your site and when it needs activating. Because what happens if you get different small businesses with amazing offers simply booking, all fully compliant, then turning up, rolling on and rolling off, and it all becomes seamless. Because that is what Streetdots do. And that is why Streetdots created a booking engine to join the two parties together. Lastly, and most importantly, we cannot forget who needs to gain the most. I've mentioned experiences a lot, and it all comes back to the consumer. So Streetdots created a consumer app with a simple purpose to start. If microleasing is the way forward, then consumers need to know who is on, when, and where. around their city with the ability to engage in experience that is suited to them. So, if that didn't make sense to what I just said, then here's a quick pictorial slide that will hopefully show you what type of experiences you can get on your sites. And with it, as I click through it, I'll just quickly share with you my short landlord sales pitch. Whatever size of estate, whatever your fixed tenant mix, whenever someone moves across your estate asset, there's an opportunity to enliven, to offer, and to experience. And just like the operators you see on the screen, we have them already signed up on our database right now, and they're looking for opportunities to trade. Thank you very much.